Welcome back to Millennial Meets Gen Z 90s edition, the podcast where one of us grew up with the movies, the music, the pop culture of the 90s, and the other is discovering it for the very first time. I'm Allison, the Millennial.
And I'm Hannah, the Gen Z. Each week, we rewind a different piece of 90s culture to see what still holds up, what definitely doesn't, and why these stories still stick with us today.
So, whether you've lived through it like me or you are just discovering it now, let's rewind. So this week we headed to Fat Camp with heavyweights from 1995. Hannah, did you ever go to summer camp?
No. Nope.
No.
No
Okay.
summer camp. We
Well,
had like a field trip called Camp Duncan in fifth grade that we went for 2 days. That was the only camp I've ever been to.
you missed out. I went to summer camp. I did not go to fan camp, although maybe it would have helped. But I'm wearing my like tie-dye t-shirt because at summer camp, you would often like that was one of the things that you did, hence also the sunglasses, but you would tie-dye t-shirts. You would like I never went to a camp with a blob, so that was always like a goal is to go to a camp with a blob. Um, but we did like arts and crafts and we did like swimming and boating and horseback riding and all sorts of like capture the flag and all sorts of like games like that. As I'm waving my arms around, I do want to explain this is from going to the hospital. So if anybody sees my bruises, it's because blood is impossible to get out of my body, which is why I am now staying hydrated because my lovely bestie Lori was like, it's because you're a cactus, and if you drink more water, you wouldn't have those kinds of problems. So I do have my big Bubba bottle of water. She'll see me check.
I love that. I did not know that blood was harder to get if you're dehydrated. Hmm. This probably explains a lot of my issues too.
Yes.
Okay.
The more hydrated you are, the better it is for them to get blood out of your body. Now, I really hope that I don't have any reason to go back for them to need blood, but I will take her advice and stop trying to be a cactus. It's fine. Well, since we are at Fat Camp this week, we have decided to smuggle in some of our favorite junk food. So if you have misophonia, you may want to skip this one and go to the next episode or rewind to a different episode. We got lots of great episodes for you to listen to. But if you don't have misophonia and you want to talk food, let's go. So, Hannah, as they say in heavyweights, download.
That was one of my favorite parts of that. Okay. First, so you can see I already dipped into all these because I eat an obsessive amount of snacks. So when I got them, I just ate them. So we have Cheez-Its.
Is the bag empty? Is
No,
that
no, 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 no. Do you want me
okay?
to here? I'll have one. I'll have one.
That one.
Cheez-Its, I actually have two bags. Both I'm one of those people that when I eat snacks and I have two of the same snack, I will open both bags. Like if one bag's close to me and it's not an open bag, I will open that. So like both bags will be open.
No, no. Are you just going through them so fast that they don't get stale? Because you can't let them get stale. That's bad.
I know. I know. I was gonna bring dill pickle chips, but they were stale because when I got
Because
them,
you open them.
yeah, how could I open them? And I didn't put a little chip clip on them.
You always have to do a chip clip. You can't let bugs get in there.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that because now I'm really sad. But then we have these. Can't really see it. It's a Nutella.
Nutella biscuit?
It's a Nutella biscuit. So good. Here, I'll open it and show you. Have you ever tried these?
No. I mean, I'm not a big I'm okay with Nutella, but I hate hazelnut, so like I can tolerate Nutella, but hey, if it's overly hazelnut, I will throw it in the trash.
Really? Oh my
I
gosh.
hate hazelnut. It's one of the few flavors that I would choose death
Hmm.
over hazelnut.
Oh my god. This is what it looks like. It's just, a little.
It's a cookie?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's my sweet treat. And then we have, of course, these. And I was gonna bring my sour cream and onion
Wait,
dip, but then I
what kind
remembered
are they?
they're just plain. They're just
Plain,
like plain
wavy, just
waffles.
wavy.
Yeah, but I'm like I love dips, like sour cream and onion dip. I like buffalo chicken dip, and sometimes like when I have that, I eat it with those. So I just thought it was like it was important to bring those because I eat
Okay.
so much of them when I
Do
have
you
dip.
think that you're like a salty snacker versus a
Yeah,
sweet snacker?
yeah.
Okay. So would
Except
you
if
be
I'm on
the
my period. When I'm on my
okay.
period, all sweets.
Okay. I feel like I'm the opposite. I want salty foods. It helps you well, I'm always low on sodium, so like it helps retain water when I eat salty foods, but yeah, I'm a sweet snacker. I think that's a problem.
Mm,
Um like the rest of the time. So I think that you've probably got the good version because like you can have kind of salty stuff that's not high in sodium. It just is like more savory, I guess, than like sweet. Um but see, like I'll avoid most things that are kind of salty at all. So,
oh my gosh.
and sugar kills you. So here we go.
Turkey's so good though. Okay, your turn.
Okay, well, I am a white cheddar popcorn kind of girly. So I've got my white cheddar popcorn and I put it in a bowl because the bag is like huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this big. And I will admit it is full. So I'm not like I got it a couple days ago and I have not eaten it all yet. So that's a good sign. That's good because for me, white cheddar popcorn, when it's in the house, it's just like I only do a
Yeah.
bowl and it gets eaten. And this is a pretty good sized bowl, but this is a good long podcast. So I have gummy worms because I love something fruity.
Yeah.
I'm a chocoholic, but it has to be, I'm a chocolate snob. And so when I eat chocolate, it has to be really good. But if I
Mm,
can't get good chocolate, I will go for a gummy worm. I will go for a peachy ring. I will
oh, those.
go for a Skittle. Um, Fruitiness is delicious, and I'm limited now because I have a soy allergy. And so, like, they put soy in a lot of things, but not in these. So I'm excited about my excited
Do you
about
like
my.
the trolley ones or the trolley ones?
I like them more like not covered in sugar.
Okay.
Like the ones, I think the trolley ones are like covered in like salt and sugar. Like they're supposed to
Yeah.
be like sour and they've got extra. I don't like that as much. Give
Mm.
like I'll take like a gummy bear type one, that's
Yeah. Yeah,
so
those are
gummy
good.
worms are more fun. Gummy bears just aren't as much. Plus, I feel bad for them. Where worms, I don't feel as bad for, but I
Yeah.
do feel bad if I bite off the gummy bear's head. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Since the days of Teddy Grahams, I have a whole thing with gummy worms. Now, my third thing was originally going to be something like pizza or garlic bread because for me those are junk food and they'd have to be gluten free and I also actually the first idea I had was going to be a gluten free donut but to go get a gluten free donut I have to drive 45 minutes and I did not have time to do that this week so I was like because donuts are my weakness and they have to be gluten free though which is I think the world's way the universe's way of being like let's save you from yourself because it's hard it's hard to go get a gluten-free donut and
Yeah.
so I don't eat them very often at all actually and because I have to drive really far to get one and they're only open certain hours and it's just like I think this is the universe being like let's try to make sure you keep your weight down so
Donuts are great though. Those are
they
that one is
are.
yeah.
So then my second thought was gluten-free pizza, but the good gluten-free pizza is 35 minutes away, not close. And I didn't want to settle for the crappy gluten-free pizza. And then I was like, maybe I have time to go to the grocery store to get some because now I've discovered gluten-free garlic bread, which I've never liked garlic bread before really that much. That's Lori's thing. Um, I am not. She'll eat all the garlic bread on your plate if you're not careful. But I I have like found gluten-free garlic bread and I am like obsessed with it now. That is like a girl dinner. Like I will just have garlic bread
Period.
and that's my dinner.
I love
Um,
that.
that's such a bad idea. But yeah, if you don't know what girl dinner is, it's any scrappy thing that you throw together that does not make sense and is not a whole meal. So
Yeah. But they're the
um
best. Best
but
meals.
instead, I went with one of my other choices, which I would not smuggle into a summer camp because it would melt. Ice cream.
Oh my
So
God.
this
Ooh.
one, because I got allergies, this one is cashew milk ice cream, and it is peanut butter brownie, and remarkably, it's gluten-free because it does not have actual brownies. Well, the brownies that they have is made out of rice flour, so I was like, I got really lucky. Um,
Oh my
so it's
God.
like good ice cream.
That sounds so yummy. Oh my gosh.
So, and I'm a freaking genius, and this is a koozie, and it's stretched enough to fit my ice cream so that my hand doesn't get cold
Yeah.
and I don't have to scoop it into another bowl. I hate dirtying extra dishes. I just scoop it. I'm the only one. Okay, that's a lie. I'm supposed to be the only one that eats out of here. And typically that's what happens. But sometimes I put one of these in the freezer and then I find it has been eaten already when I go to get it because a boyfriend likes to steal it and he got a talking to. So
Worst. Yeah, no. Deserves a talking to for that. That is the worst.
he,
Like when you're looking forward to food and it's like gone.
well, what was really funny is I was like, I think I bought a used ice cream. And he was just like, no, I definitely ate that. And I was like, oh, I thought that I had gotten it from the store like that. And I didn't trust like going back to that store to get ice cream because I was
Oh
like,
my
somebody ate it and put it back on the shelf. No, they did not. Somebody ate it and put it back in my freezer. And then I had to throw it out because I was like, you've ruined my ice cream. And I don't know when. I'm like a weirdo. I didn't know when it was eaten. I didn't know like how long ago. I was like, I don't know if you were really clean about it. It's my ice cream. So like I just was like, you can either eat it or I can toss it. And he was like, "Mm." And I threw it out. So
oh my
anyway,
God.
my ice cream. He's not here. And I'm not gonna eat the whole thing right now. I will probably a bite during our pod. So now we have snacks for a pod, which is why if you have misophonia, find another episode. But this one we've got snackies. So, all right. Well, Heavyweights is a comedy film where a boy named Jerry is sent to a weight loss summer camp, which is taken over by an unhinged fitness guru named Tony Perkis, who forces the kids into a brutal boot camp to film a get rich quick infomercial. Now, this movie is available on Disney Plus. So, Hannah, what did you think of this film while I eat my popcorn?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I did like it. Definitely. It like was not one of my favorites out of the ones we watched, but I did like it. And okay, I like Ben Stiller. I just want to say that when I saw him in Zoolander like a few months ago, I don't think I've seen him in like a huge role before that. But when I saw him in Zoolander, I was like, oh, he's funny. I like him. Like the
Oh,
weird
you
little face he
finally
makes.
saw Zoolander.
Yeah, I did end up seeing Zoolander. Yeah, I did end up seeing Zoolander. I did.
Good.
Okay, as in I was forced to watch it, but I did like it. So I
How
like
can
the
the
fact.
kids learn to read if they can't fit inside the, or how can the kids learn to read if they can't fit inside the building? What is this, a center for ants?
No, like he's so funny and like the faces he makes. Also, what is that guy's name? There's one thing I just want to say, and I need this shirt. I need to find
Again,
Tim.
Tim.
No,
Okay.
Tim. Tim at like the beginning was wearing this adorable little cropped. I don't remember if it was a jersey, but it was like a cute little crop shirt. I need that. I need that. That's
Okay.
one of my notes. I need that.
I just want to say that like crop tops weren't really like it wasn't like a thing in the 90s. It was like in the 80s for like fitness girlies.
Hmm.
Um, but they were popular in sports because they covered your pads for football, but they didn't cover your stomach so that you could like I think it's so that you can like feel cool and not like cool as in like not hot. Um, I don't think it's to show off your abs, but again, I didn't play football, so I'm really not sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Also,
But
Jerry looks like Raleigh from Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
okay.
Yeah, I just needed to say that. Like that was the first thing I thought. I was like, is he the guy? Is he Raleigh from Diary of a Wimpy Kid? And I was like, there's no way.
Mm-mm.
There's no way. But
Mm-mm.
they do look very alike. I liked
Okay.
the plot of it. It was very chaotic. I thought it was I don't know. Am I allowed to like spoil something?
I don't know if you're allowed to use the word chaotic. I haven't heard that in a couple episodes, and I feel like you're bringing it back now.
Okay, this movie like was chaotic. I mean, the other ones that we have recently watched were pretty chaotic, but this one, like, I'm not one to like children in movies. That sounds so bad, but I'm not one to like movies with
We've
children.
watched
To
a
be
bunch of
real,
movies with children.
yeah, like when the like plot's significantly about the children. Like I feel like
Were
how
you were you like rooting for the witches? Like what are you talking about?
okay, well, I kind
What
of.
about Hocus Pocus? What about
I'm meaning like a situation.
Sandlot?
I did like the Sandlot. I'm meaning like rookie of the year children, like when it's like fully about a child, like when the child is the main character.
All of the movies with the child was the main character.
But like there were cooler
Hocus
other
Pocus.
characters. Okay, Hocus Pocus is amazing. Sarah, my girl
The
Sarah Jessica
witches.
Parker. The prosthetics. Don't bring up the witches. That's a creepy movie. That is.
But you didn't but it was about a kid. What are
Yeah,
you
but like
talking about?
it was different though. I don't know.
You have
Maybe just like
one
the
movie that you were
masses.
like poo poo on.
It's true. Maybe it was just because like there was a congregation of children. It's a congregation of them. There were too many. But I mean, I like Jerry. Jerry was funny. There was one scene though that like disgusted me. Oh my god, I forget what the kid's name is, but when one of the kids had like all of his snacks all over him and the other
Nicholas.
kid licked it, that part like genuinely disturbed me.
Boys are gross.
That disturbed. Maybe that's why because it's just like little grubby boys. But
Boys are gross.
yeah, little grubby boys. But overall, I liked it. I give it a 7 out of 10. Wasn't
Hmm.
wasn't like my favorite, but like wasn't rookie of the year level bad.
We're gonna let that sentence slide right now.
Did not like rookie of the year. Yeah,
Okay. Well, what do we rate this movie?
7 out of 10.
Oh. Okay,
I was
fair,
gonna
fair,
give it a
fair.
six.
It's no, you've watched a lot of movies. That's fair.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 6.5, but Ben Stiller was in it, and now like I'm kind of obsessed with him. I love him. Even him as the bad guy. Is it
But
bad that I was rooting
what
for
does
him?
that mean for all the other kids' movies we're gonna watch?
I guess we'll have to see.
You have to think about the fact that like most of us were watching this in the 90s as kids.
Yeah, that's fair. See, like this one I didn't watch with that lens though. Like actually a lot of the kids' movies I haven't necessarily watched with that lens.
You have
But
to
this one,
think about it in both lenses. How do
yeah,
I think of this as an adult? How do I think about this if I were a kid?
I would have loved this movie if I were a kid. Because I would have been sad that I wasn't in camp. I would have been like, I wish I went to any summer camp. Camp Hope.
Fat camp,
You know, they got the Blob and the go-karts until RIP to those.
right? Well, this movie was written by Judd Apatow and Stephen Brill. Judd Apatow wrote things like The Ben Stiller Show, which wasn't on for very long, Freaks and Geeks, Undeclared, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Fun with Dick and Jane, Knocked Up, Pineapple Express, This is 40, several episodes of Girls, and Love. And Stephen Brill wrote things like The Mighty Ducks, D2 and D3, which makes sense with a lot of the casting, Little Nicky, Walk of Shame, and The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. And then Stephen Brill directed it. And as a director, he's known for Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, Without a Paddle, Drillbit Taylor, The Do-Over, Hubie Halloween, and The Mighty Ducks Game Changers as well. So you ready to rewind?
Heck yeah.
Okay, so we open on school getting out, and the kids are throwing papers everywhere and are very excited, similar to what we saw in a Goofy movie. Did this happen at your school when school was over?
That was something I did actually think about. No. Mm-mm. Did you guys have that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, maybe it's because we didn't have computers, so like you had paper everything and you had books. Like they saw people ripping up books in there, and the kid was like, this is going to cost them a lot of money. It's because you owed the school if your book went missing, and so you had to like cover your book, you had to care for your book. Your book had to not be damaged, and so to get it through a school year, like you had to have book covers all the time. Well, Jerry misses his bus and he has to run after it and ends up walking home. He walks by a baseball game and can't throw the ball back over the fence to the team, and he is embarrassed about it.
He tried
Walking
like
down,
4 times. How is that even possible?
I do not know. Walking down a sidewalk, he's barked at by a dog and ends up running away. He gets to a little girl's lemonade stand and drinks the entire pitcher to the horror of the girls.
That was
Now, Jerry Gerald
crazy.
Garner is played by Aaron Schwartz, who is known for his role in The Mighty Ducks, Guardians of the
Mm.
Galaxy 2, and Chasing Dorota. He was also in Adventures of Pete and Pete and Gossip Girl.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy too. I feel like I should have known him then.
I mean, a lot of people were, and some of them were not recognizable. So I don't know if he did a voice or
Mm.
I did not write that down. Well, at home, he sees an unfamiliar car at his parents' house, and his parents are home, which is unusual for them. Roger Johnson introduces himself. He's there from Camp Hope, a summer camp he's being sent to. Jerry's upset because he had plans to hang out this summer, which is not really something you have plans to do. He watches the video of the Pushkins introducing the camp, and he sees the Blob and the go-karts. He's excited to see those. Camp Hope is the fun way to lose weight, he hears. And his dad says, we need to nip this thing in the bud. And Jerry says he is not going. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Maury Garner are played by Jeffrey Tambor and Nancy Ringham. Now, Nancy was in an episode of Elementary, a few episodes of Loving, and an episode of Chappelle Show. But Jeffrey is known for Transparent, Arrested Development, Paul, and Hellboy. He was also in The Ropers, which is a Three's Company spinoff, Mr. Mom, Hill Street Blues, City Slickers, Dr. Dolittle, the remake. There's Something About Mary, Meet Joe Black, Teaching Mrs. Tingle, Girl Interrupted, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Eloise at the Plaza and Eloise at Christmas Time, My Boss's Daughter, Under the Tuscan Sun, Euro Trip, The Hangover, Entourage, Mr. Popper's Penguins. He was in Psych, The Good Wife, SVU, The Accountant, Trolls, Tangled, Archer, and Magic Camp. He was also in SpongeBob as the voice of King Neptune. Do you know what we have seen him in, though?
No.
Well, he was Dr. Stevens in the Golden Girls episode Sick and Tired that we watched. He was the
Oh,
doctor that said she was probably depressed, and Sophia tells him off.
okay. Yeah, there's no way I would have remembered that. And now I'm even
No,
more concerned how I didn't see him or like recognize him because I've seen Girl Interrupted. I've seen some of those other things. So like, no idea.
he has a very distinct look once you start to recognize it. Um, so you'll kind of notice that. Well, Roger Johnson is played by Tim Blake Nelson, who's known for his role in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Leaves of Grass, and Old Henry, but most people will recognize him as Delmar in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He was also in The Thin Red Line, Hamlet, The Good Girl, Minority Report, Holes, Scooby-Doo 2, The Astronaut Farmer, The Incredible Hulk, The Big Year, which is one of my favorites. Lincoln, Fantastic Four, Monster, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt, Watchmen, and Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh my God. See,
Lots of good
I
things.
should have recognized all these people. I did not. I love Marvel.
Well, we see Jerry on a plane, and a stewardess tries to cheer him up by giving him his captain's wings and pinning them to his shirt. A kid comes up and asks him if he's going to fat camp, and he like starts to decline it, deny it. And Roy introduces himself and says he's going to fat camp too. So he finally fesses up. And then he tells him no one picks on you there because everyone there is a fat kid. Now, Roy is played by Keenan Thompson, who is known for SNL, Snakes on a Plane, Keenan and Kel, Good Burger, 1 and 2. He was in D2, The Mighty Ducks, and D3. I first saw him on All That, which was kind of an SNL for kids on Nickelodeon. It was just like skits and sketches and stuff that were comedy. He was also in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, Felicity, Big Fat Liar, Master of Disguise, My Boss's Daughter, Love Don't Cost a Thing, Barbershop 2, Fat Albert. He was also in an episode of Psych. He was Greedy in The Smurfs, The Magic of Belle Isle. They Came Together, Going in Style, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Trolls World Tour, Hubie Halloween, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Keenan, Chucky, and Scary Movie.
Jackie. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things. And honestly, if Keenan Thompson is in something, I'm more likely to watch it just because I've been watching him since the days of Nickelodeon. Well, when they land, Roy introduces Jerry to a group of other boys. They get excited as the bus pulls up, and Roy says Pat's looking good. Pat introduces himself to Jerry and suggests that the new guy drives the bus. He is kidding. He asks Jerry if he's ready for the best damn summer of his life, and the kids try to get him to pull over as he passes all of the fast food. Now, our counselor and bus driver is Pat Finley. He is played by Tom McGowan, who's known for Ghost World, After the Sunset, and Sleepless in Seattle. He was also in The Last of the Mohicans, searching for Bobby Fischer, The Birdcage, which is on our list, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Being As Good as It Gets, The Family Man, Bad Santa, One Royal Holiday, and The Good Fight. Now they arrive to Camp Hope and they start unpacking the bus. They start making fun of Tim, who is apparently wearing Hannah's favorite shirt, for being a
Loved it.
bony butt and having lost weight. He then
Ooh,
starts
can I say
bragging about,
something
yeah,
about when they arrived? The kid that was like holding the stick, that was like he like foreshadowed when they were like driving in.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like foreshadowed. He foreshadowed the horrors that were gonna
I
come.
mean, it kind of did, but that wasn't like a thing yet.
That's
Nobody
true.
knew it yet, right?
That's true. But
It's
like I
not
don't
like
know.
it's not like a nightmare was to befall them
Yeah,
um as soon as they get off the bus and it was all a sham.
yeah.
I mean, they didn't know yet. So I don't really understand that part because of that. Like it wasn't leading to anything. Um
Mm,
I love this episode where we get to eat.
me too. We should do this more often.
It would probably drive away anybody that doesn't want to watch people eat. But so
Monday.
sorry. Um well, Uh, so Tim starts bragging about his buns of steel, and then he starts realizing he's embarrassing himself as Julie, the new nurse, walks by, and he tries to deflect it, be like, "Oh, look up there, it's a bird." Uh, now, Counselor Tim is played by Paul Feig, who is in Dirty Dancing, the TV show, Ski Patrol, Zoo Radio, Naked Gun, 33 and a Third, The Final Insult, My Fellow Americans, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Stealing Harvard, Knocked Up, Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Bridesmaids, an episode of The Office where he plays an animal trainer. And we just saw him as the KPM or KMPC DJ in what movie?
Can't be
What would
seeing
be
all
a
that.
DJ?
Huh? What'd you say? Because
What would
the
a D
rapper.
what would a DJ be in? What
Oh,
movie?
that thing you do?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a song in my playlist. Doing that thing you do. I was confused if you were talking about like the rapper from She's All That that was like rapping about Lainey. And then I realized that's not a DJ. I was like, that's not
No.
him.
No. Okay. Disappointing, but that's okay. You got it on your second one.
Yeah, I had to
Well,
remember. I had
Julie,
to remember it was a rap.
well,
Not
Julie introduces herself to Pat and asks how to find the infirmary. He says he doesn't know, even though he does know. And Roy calls him out on it, and Pat says he panicked. Now, the new nurse, Julie, is played by Leah Lale, who is known for her role in VIP, Seinfeld, and Little Nicky. She also appeared in D2 The Mighty Ducks before this, so she was like in a party scene.
so they were all
A lot of them.
like, okay. I liked her.
Because
She was
it
cool.
was
I mean,
written by the same, written and directed. He probably was like, I just worked with this person. I want to work with them again. They were easy.
yeah, that makes sense. No, I liked her. I thought it was so stupid because she was clearly into Pat and like trying to make like moves and talk to him, and he was just like, you know,
I didn't like her though.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I thought she was a nurse and she was pro like them holding the guy hostage. She didn't question the kids at all. She was very like the just go along. And I thought that that was kind of weird. And also, like, she didn't like stand up for herself in terms of like Pat was just kind of like a not really showing that he was interested, and it took him a really long time to come around, but she also didn't like she just waited around. She didn't like push him at all. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, she should have just like genuinely been upfront with him. You know what I mean? At the like from the get-go if she thought he was cute.
Mhm. Or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Even just to be friends. But yeah, I thought it was so funny how awkward he was. I was glad there was a little bit of romance though.
But she was just, I also didn't like her, like in the video at the end, spoiler, but like in the video at the end, she like was very like, this could be your kid. And like, your kid could die kind of thing. And it was just like, that doesn't seem like a nurse, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's fair.
Well, Jerry and Pat carry a trunk over to the chipmunk bunk, and Pat asks Jerry if he has a girlfriend, and then makes it sound like they both must have broken up with their girlfriends for the summer to play the field, aka they didn't have them in the first place. Now, Roy greets Josh and tells him about the attractive camp nurse. Now, Pat introduces Jerry to Josh, the camp legend. Josh salutes Jerry and tells him they're all present and accounted for, Captain, sir. He asks Jerry, what's the matter? You're not a captain? Well, maybe you should lose those wings. And the other boys laugh. Now, Josh introduces him to the chipmunk bunk, the best bunk in the entire camp. Jerry asks if they're going to call him Captain all summer, and they are. He snuck in Oreos, and Josh calls for the chipmunks to download candy, meats, all sorts of things come out of everywhere and get
Yeah.
hidden floorboard, under the mattress, in the furniture. Now, Josh Birnbaum is played by Shaun Weiss, who most people know as Goldberg in the Mighty Ducks and D2 and D3. He started in Pee-wee's Playhouse, then Webster, then he was in the Tony Danza Show. He did a few episodes of Boy Meets World, Freaks and Geeks, King of Queens, and Drillbit Taylor. An English kid, Nicholas, lifts his shirt to find that all of his snacks have melted, and Philip and the other guys get the candy off of his belly. I agreed, it was gross.
It was so gross. Also, the sausages on the one kid's back, like when he literally just had them under him, or the salami, the meat.
Mm-hmm.
How I feel like if you were going to a fat camp, also, I didn't think like half of these kids were fat. Is that just me? Like, I didn't think Jerry was fat.
Bodies, take care of them and they take care of you. Okay? Weight numbers, who cares? Pounds, doesn't matter. They don't talk about measurements. They do take measurements in the movie, but they don't talk about measurements. You should have an understanding that what you put in your body matters. Ignore my gummy worms when I say this. I hardly never buy gummy worms. I think the last time I bought them was 3 years ago. So,
Oh God.
um, but so what you put in your body matters. But at kids at a young age, one, they have baby fat, and that changes when they go through puberty. So like hormones play a role. However, you do a disservice to yourself at any age when you're carrying around excess weight because it's hard on your organs, right? So it's hard on your knees. Every extra pound you are is 20 pounds of pressure on your knees. It's crazy. But that's why, like, if you are overweight, you often have knee problems because that's one of the joints that actually like absorbs all the extra weight that you're carrying. Not
Mm,
not everybody has knee problems. Not, this is not a, all bodies are the same. All bodies are different. People can carry weight very healthily, but some people can't. So you just have to look at the body type and what they are built for and make sure that they are healthy. Weight is affected by a bunch of things. It's not just overeating your snacks. It is about hormones. It's about genetics. It's about like so many things go into being healthy. It's
that's
about
fair.
activity. So
Yeah.
is sitting at home hanging out? I mean, he did get to run. He ran after the bus, got a long walk home. Seems to
That's
be
true.
pretty okay.
Yeah. That's what
So
I thought. I was like, maybe just baby pudge. Like, that's, I don't know.
maybe, but also like a lot of young kids don't often carry baby pudge that badly unless something else like genetic is going on or they're getting over caloried. Um,
Mm,
I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I just play one on TV. Um, but I just am speaking from experience and all of my food knowledge now.
that's fair.
Everybody take that with a grain of salt. Take that for what you want. I am not telling anybody's kid that they are overweight. However, just be considerate
Yeah.
of your child and what that does to their body because whether or not they grow out of it in their puberty, if they don't, we set ourselves up young for a long, like you're lucky in your teens and 20s, a lot of things can be reversed and you can bounce back. But once you get into your late 20s, you get into your 30s, your metabolism starts slowing down. All the tools and tricks that you learned in your kid years and in your 20s and your teens, they set you up for the rest of your life. So if you're not eating vegetables as a young kid, I know adults that don't eat vegetables and it terrifies me because I'm like, how the hell does your body function with the vitamins that it needs?
Yeah.
Like you will eventually have to deal with that,
Yeah. That's
whether
fair.
it be multivitamin or like I know an adult, we just had a conversation about an adult that has to have sneaky veggies. It's like you're old enough now that we shouldn't have to hide veggies in your food.
They're good too when you like marinate them right. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
you're like when we cover them in butter. Vegetables are delicious regularly. You just have to season them. If you don't like stuff plain, season them. They don't need to be
Yeah.
boiled. They can be steamed to maintain their flavor.
Um,
You can grill them. You don't have to you can roast them. You don't
yeah.
have to like
Just
boil them in
marinate.
water.
That's fair. That's fair. I do love me some plain cucumbers.
Okay. I mean, that's a mostly water veggie. So like good. That's a good start. That's an easy veggie to not hate. The point is though, eat healthy, feed your kids healthy, try not to overfeed your kids because the things that you set them up for, as someone that like couldn't leave the table until I ate all of my food, that sometimes caused me to overeat
Mhm.
because my plate, if I filled my plate, I was filling it. My eyes were bigger than my stomach, so I was
Mhm.
filling the plate.
Yeah, I
Like
get you.
we talked about food when we talked about competitive eating. Like I would have totally been a like in my brain, I'm a competitive eater. I'll like take down a huge stack of pancakes, but my stomach was not built for that. And so as a kid, like I had a tendency to like beef. I didn't want to overeat. If you had couldn't leave the table until you finish your plate, like I was being forced to overeat. And that was because that was like a common kid rule. And I don't think
Mhm.
that people don't know about kid nutrition and what like actual portions look like. Honestly, I would probably overfeed a small child if I don't have any kids. So please, nobody send CPS to my door because there are no children here. I will tell you, my corgi probably does get overfed with cookies sometimes because he
That's,
begs for them. So, but
oh
he's
my
on a
God.
great diet today. He's on a diet.
Oh,
He's under me. Um, but he's waiting for the cheesy popcorn, to be honest, because he's like, he loves the popcorn.
oh.
But yeah, so just
Yeah.
like, if these are not, I don't think everyone there was necessarily overweight, but these also were chunky kids
Oh
for
wow.
this movie. I don't know if they were all like were actually that way or if they were wearing like some of them were wearing fat suits or something. I have no idea.
Mm, okay.
Does that answer your question in my long-winded
Yeah.
way of trying to answer your question without
Without being canceled.
the, well, it's like it's a complicated question, you know?
Yeah.
Do I think he might have been? Maybe. Maybe what he would have did he grow out of it? Take a look. He's got great pictures online. He's still acting, so I guess he did. So that's good. Some of us don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
We
Yeah,
try.
no, I don't know. I don't know. Because like when I was watching it, I was just like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these kids are overweight. And like my boyfriend, he was like, yeah, it could be baby fat, but even he was like, I Hannah, what? I was like, okay. I
They shouldn't
maybe
have roles. You shouldn't have roles as I mean, as a baby, yes, but as a kid, if you're running around and you're active, especially in the
that's
90s, they didn't have digital devices.
that's fair. That's fair. You have a good point there.
Our activities were outside playing.
Yeah. You have a good point. I didn't even think okay. Yep. Okay. Okay.
Well, tough conversation later. Well, Philip Grubenoff is played by Max Goldblatt, who is known for his role in Bushwhacked My Giant 3,000 Miles to Graceland and is now an editor. And Nicholas is played by David Goldman, who literally only did this movie. So we see kids jumping on the blob. The camp starts to get together for an announcement by the Bushkins, and which are the owners. Now, Alice and Harvey Bushkin greet the campers and tell the kids, unfortunately, they have filed Chapter 9 bankruptcy and they have sold the camp. Alice asks for one more hi, hi, hiya, and the campers only get out the hi. Now, this is my favorite part that I want to talk about. So, Harvey Bushkin is played by Jerry Stiller, who's known for his role in playing Frank Costanza on Seinfeld. So, we've seen him on Seinfeld in the clip that we showed. He's been in Hairspray, The Heartbreak Kid, Zoolander, so you would have seen him there. The King of Queens. He's also been in Madam X, Hot Pursuit, Tattingers, Highway to Hell, My Five Wives, Serving Sarah, Teacher's Pet, Anchorman, Ice Dreams, Fish Hooks, and Zoolander 2. Alice Bushkin is played by Anne Mira, who is known for her role in Fame, Night at the Museum, and Awakenings. She's also in The Out of Towners, Rhoda, Archie Bunker's Place, Alf, Sesame Street, Reality Bites, Zoolander as well, Like Mike, Sex and the City, and The King of Queens.
Oh, Sex and the City.
These two are some of the original members of the Compass Players, which is an improv group that became Second City, which started in Chicago.
Oh my god.
So first of all, they're local to you. And also they are Ben Stiller's parents.
Okay. Okay. Wait, that would make sense too. Why they're in like Zoolander.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's super cool.
And a few other of his movies.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zoolander's the only one I've seen of his other movies. But yeah.
Now, they have both since passed. Unfortunately, Jerry Stiller passed in 2020. His wife died in 2015. But they are comedy legends. So, now Second City included people like Alan Arkin, which was also in the Compass Players, Joan Rivers, Harold Ramis, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, who we just saw in American Pie, the dad, Martin Short, Mike Myers, who we saw in Austin Powers, Chris Farley, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Steve Carell from The Office, Stephen Colbert, Keegan-Michael Kay, Jason Sudeikis, and so many others. And now they are located in more than just Chicago, but that started in Chicago. Second City is huge in Chicago. Now they introduced that there is now a new owner of Camp Hope, and we see a spotlight and hear sirens as the new owner arrives, Tony
His
Perkis
entrance.
Jr. Apparently, in his intro, we learn that he's known for saying things like, yes, and you better believe it. We meet Tony Perkis, who says, can you smell it? There's a life force in here tonight. Do you feel it? When I look around this room, I see potential. And then to Jerry, he says, I see the future chairman of a Fortune 500 company. To Roy, he says, I see a famous rap artist.
That was crazy.
To Nicholas, I see the President of the United States of America, which Jerry says he's from England.
I liked that. Heard about that. That was funny.
Now, being an only child and educated by private tutors my whole life, he says, I'm looking forward to interacting with children for the first time.
That was crazy. I mean, you could like tell it was his first time interacting with kids.
He tells the kids that his dad, the lighting fixture king, has donated all of the lights as the chandelier lowers down, but he is not going to give you light. He is going to show you the light. And then he introduces Team Perkis as a bunch of fit folks and one nerd. walk out in cutoff shirts. I don't know if you saw that, but a nerd walks by, like a guy, a really nerdy looking guy with glasses.
I was just so unnerved this whole scene with his intro, just in general. I was like, you've got to be joking. This random fitness guru is gonna run a camp when he's never interacted with children.
Yeah. Hey, people do it all the time.
He's trying to get rich,
Well,
man.
Tony Perkis is played by the famous Ben Stiller, who's known for his role in Tropic Thunder, Zoolander 1 and 2. There's Something About Mary. He was in Happy Gilmore, The Cable Guy. He was Rachel's angry date on Friends. He was in Mystery Men, Keeping the Faith, Meet the Parents, The Royal Tenenbaums, Orange County, Duplex, Along Came Polly, Starsky and Hutch, Anchorman, Dodgeball, Meet the Fockers, Madagascar, Night at the Museum, The Heartbreak Kid, Megamind, Little Fockers, Tower Heist, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, SNL, Arrested Development, Hubie Halloween, and Happy Gilmore 2. And he does have a few movies coming out.
I've seen like multiple of these movies. I don't know how I didn't know he was in any of them. I've seen Happy Gilmore. I don't
I
know.
don't know where he's in Happy Gilmore. He was uncredited, but apparently he's in there.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while since I saw it. Well, he introduces Kenny the cameraman and says that they're doing an infomercial for weight loss. Kenny the cameraman is played by Alan Covert. He's a regular in Adam Sandler films. He's known for Grandma's Boy, Jack and Jill, 51st Dates, The Wedding Singer. He was in Airheads, Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy, Never Been Kissed, Big Daddy, Deuce Bigelow, Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, Eight Crazy Nights, Anger Management, The Longest Yard, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Paul Blart Mall Cop, Just Go With It, Grown Ups 2, Father of the Year, Murder Mystery, and Hubie Halloween.
I
So
loved Kenny. His little earrings.
if there is an Adam Sandler movie, he usually shows up. Same with Rob Schneider.
Okay.
They're usually always in an Adam Sandler film.
Hmm. Well, I liked
All
him. I
right.
liked his style. I liked his earring. Both my boyfriend and I liked him.
Why?
His style, he was like cool. He looked like he would be like on a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Doing drugs. Not skateboarders, but like just that guy. That guy
But like
looked
I
like
liked his style, yeah. I think that's why I liked him though, because he gave like indie like esque vibes, and like I like that style
greasy,
on people.
dirty, greasy, dirty vibes.
I mean, as we know, I, with the guy with the ponytail, I
I
have a
mean,
thing for guys that aren't the most cleanly looking.
well, Tony says at age 12, he weighed 319 pounds. He had bad skin, low self-esteem, and no self-respect. Now, he eats success for breakfast with skim milk, don't we all? He
Their
says
reaction to the skim milk was funny when they were like, "Ugh."
um, health food was like big in the 90s.
Really?
Skim milk was being pushed a lot
Oh god. Oh god.
and
Okay.
tastes like water. So
Yeah, that's fair.
he says pounds are going to fly and they're going to do it together. And everyone is panicked. Now, Lars says that he has been assigned to the chipmunk bunk and Pat has been assigned to the big house and he kicks him out and takes control of the bunk. He gives the kids the Perkis system uniforms. Now, Jerry introduces Roy, Josh, Sam, Cody, Nicholas, Michael, and Phil. Now, Sam, or Salami Sam, so the guy you were talking about that has salami, is played by Joseph Wayne Miller, who passed away at age 36 from sleep apnea. But he was also in a movie before this one called Folks, and that was all he was in. Cody is played by Cody Berger. He was in Forever Young, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Doll Man. Heavyweights was his last movie, and now he's a network engineer. Now, Lars introduces himself and says he's from far away. He says he has a deviated septum and makes a disturbing sound. Don't be alarmed. I am fine. He snores. Lars is played by Tom Hodges, who was in Lucas, Steel Magnolias, and Shoot the Moon. He was also in Revenge of the Nerds 2, The Hogan Family, Michael, and Stigmata. It's a good movie. They are woken up by Perkis's announcement saying that soon the camp will be filled with skinny winners, which Roy suggests he said skinny wieners. Tony says he believes in them and keeps going with his infomercial. He has the kids do a slide and glide workout and all the kids fall down, and Tony wants to win the Apache relay against the kids from the MVP camp. Now, Jerry weighs in and is given a goal of 17 pounds lost. Roy gets 23 pounds, and Mr. Sims is the fattest boy in camp with the record. They take measurements of everything and before photos, and Roy's butt breaks Lars's camera. Now, Sims is played by Robert Zacklund, who was in Avalon and Fistful of Love, but now he's a movie editor. Now, Tony announces their lecture for the evening is on liposuction. Exciting. Lars is trying to hit on Nurse Julie, but he's supposed to be watching the kids in the water, and then he tells Nurse Julie it's okay. He has them on the buddy system. Do you ever have to do the buddy system?
Yes. That's where you like hold on to somebody, right?
You don't hold on to them, but you have to be within like an arm's reach of them. And you
Okay.
have to know where everybody is at all times. And as long as you are accountable for each other, like an adult can claim that they don't have to watch you.
Oh, okay. See, I thought it was literally where you just like have a partner that you like walk with, like like down the hallway or like throughout school. That's kind of just what I assumed.
Mm-mm.
Cause like buddy, like I don't know why, but I just assumed like someone that you like just take with you somewhere. Like if you're in a single
Well, I
file
mean,
aisle.
kind of like that. But you're supposed to be responsible for each other. So if
Okay,
something
yeah,
happens, you can
yes.
get the attention of an adult that your buddy needs help.
Yeah. See, like we never called it the buddy system, but yes, we have had that like growing up,
What did you
especially in
call it?
elementary school.
The buddy system is like you have a buddy and you're responsible for your buddy, and your buddy is responsible for you. And that way an adult doesn't have to pay that close of attention to everybody because you've got fail safe of having a buddy system.
No, no, we it was never called that, and I guess it wasn't really like that. It was just like pick a partner and walk with them, you know, line.
Um,
Yeah.
Well, Tony bikes up to the baseball game where the campers are going to play the rival camp MVP. Tim warns Tony that they're going to lose the game, and Tony says, we're not teaching them about sports, we're teaching them about life.
Just so messed up. These poor kids. He was mean. He was mean, but he was funny.
The MVP coach tells Pat that they're supposed to be competing at the highest level at all times, so they won't go easy on the Perkis kids. Now, Pat gets called to a plumbing issue and he has to leave, but the kids get their butts kicked on the field. Everyone ends up going to the nurse. One kid hits himself in the head with the bat. The MVP kids call them fat tubbos. Jerry throws the bat at the cameraman, and Roy takes out the MVP kid for calling them a chubber. Back at the bunk, Tony cuts open furniture and finds all their snacks. He asks Roy for a hug and finds the Pez dispenser. A former camper and now counselor and snitch, Dawson, tells Tony where all of the food is hidden in the floorboards. Now, do you recognize Dawson? The
No.
snitch?
Snitch. No. Wait, who is he? Girl, I didn't pay attention.
Dawson is played by Patrick LeBrecq from your favorite movie, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I would not have known that.
He was
See.
his friend, the friend that got mad at him and like had the boat.
Oh, yeah. No. Did not recognize him. If I'm being honest, I did not really
I
recognize
think you
any
need
of
to
these.
watch Rookie of the Year again to like really get it.
I don't think so. I'm
He was
scared.
also in Beethoven, Lawnmower Man 2, All I Want for Christmas, and Camp Nowhere. Well, Tony has to go through his cheat cards to know who the kids are. He asks Jerry to give up who did that, and he says he's not your friend, he's a destroyer. Then threatens to tell his dad that he's the destroyer. Josh steps forward and says it belongs to Seymour Butts. When Tony asks who's Seymour Butts, Josh says no one's seen more butts than you, Tony.
I'm
Tony
stealing
threatens Josh, and the next morning, Josh is no longer with us, and his bed is now available. Then the rumors spread, and even the lunch guy says he's dead.
Oh my God, yeah, that was crazy. Or that he was homeless on the side of the road, or that his parents wouldn't let him come back home, or that he was living with like a legless person or a one-legged person.
Can we rewind to the part where you said you're stealing Seymour Butts?
I'm stealing them. I'm stealing
Do you
them.
think do you think that Seymour Butts is going to be something that people will fall for? It's been around for a very long time.
I've never heard it before that. Ever. And now I'm gonna coin this as my own term and tell people I came up with it.
Have you heard of Updog?
Of Updog?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, what are you asking me?
What is Updog? If it's in here, I
Not
don't.
much. What's up with you?
Oh! Is that why you just looked at me like that for so long to see if I got it?
I looked at you because I needed you to say, "What's up, dog?" Oh, Hannah, I'm gonna love doing the more of these 90s things.
I'm writing that down. Thank you. I'm stealing that too. Thank you, Allison.
That's from The Office. I mean, that's from the 90s, but it was in The Office.
Really? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that being said in here. I remember Seymour
You're like,
Butts.
"What's up, dog?"
Yeah, I was like, if that was said in here, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I know. You were also like, but you were like, "What is up, dog?"
No, I'm no like that. I'm stealing that now.
How
Thank you.
much? What's up
That
with
is
you?
Seymour Butts.
Okay, you and Seymour Butts. Okay. Well, there's a lot of names like Seymour Butts. We'll have a list later. Well, Jerry writes to his grandma about the horrors. He called his dad, but his dad said he didn't send him to go-kart camp and doesn't really care. We see
That was
Tony
so
trying to lead.
mean.
We see Tony trying to lead by example, holding a block of ice on his abs and having Lars hit it with a sledgehammer. They then kill the Blob. The kids from MVP make fun of them and vandalize their camp, and the kids chase the cows when they are hungry. Apparently, Tony arranged a dance with the girls' camp to humiliate them into losing weight, and at the dance, no one is dancing. The girls look on, and the boys feel humiliated. Julie says she has friends in child welfare and is talking about giving them a call. She and Pat hang out. A girl comes over to the boys just to ask them about the bathroom. Sick of seeing this be a terrible event, Tim starts dancing to Love Machine and gets Pat and Julie into it, and then the boys and girls join and they've got some boogie fever. Then Tony shuts it down because that's not what he wanted. He wanted them to be humiliated. Well, Jerry is sitting in a broken down go-kart and Pat asks for a ride out of there. Jerry asks if this place always used to stink, and Pat says no, it actually was pretty awesome. Now, Jerry really wanted to ride the go-karts. He's so slow and he wanted to go fast, really fly, and he thought he'd be good at it. Pat tells him to handle the hair, if he can handle the hairpin turns and the engine, and starts to push him around the track. Julie watches them. Pat tells Jerry he mowed a lot of lawns, and that's how he knows about go-karts. Pat asks him how he is on his jumps, and Jerry asks if they do jump, and Pat says they fly. And then they crash, and Jerry wants to do it all over again. Pat, who is running and pushing and doing all the work, says, "Sure, next year." Now Jerry is sleeping, as is the rest of the bunk, when Josh stumbles in all loopy. They wake up to find that he is kidding, despite looking for a hot minute like he had a lobotomy. Apparently, Josh's dad is a lawyer and got him back into camp since Perkis sent him home with no refund. Now, the next morning, we see Josh shaving. Josh talks about being on the outside and going to the Sizzler, and they tell him that Tony cleaned them out. We see Tony go out for a run, and the kids decide to break into his cabin. They're looking for the candy, but all they find are letters home. They haven't been able to get the letters out of camp. Jerry sees that he's the key to Tony's campaign, Perkisize with Tony. Now Tony comes back and they have to leave really quickly. Nicholas is still in the kitchen eating, it looks like oats out of an oat container. And Jerry has to go back in and get him out before Tony catches him. Nicholas farts as he goes out the window. They make it out though, narrowly escaping into the trees as Tony looks out the open window and shuts it behind them. They run off and find a kid eating a hamburger in the bathroom. He's had a hookup this entire time, so everyone starts using the snack pickup in the woods, even Pat. Later, Tony does a weigh-in on camera with the kids, and they've all gained weight. He loses it. This is the Perkis system doesn't work with cheaters like Gerald Garner. He blames himself and then changes his mind. He checks in with little Tony. No, it's their fault. They have failed, and they will pay. He tells him everyone who hasn't met their weight loss goal is going to join him on a 20-mile hike. I would
Yeah.
die.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. Hey, they outsmarted him though. They
Pat tries to object, and Tony puts him down as the fat man and doesn't let him talk or take him seriously. He calls him a negative negativity spreader. And Pat is upset and leaves. Now, Jerry finds Pat at the end of the dock, and Pat tells him MVP is having a barbecue. He wants to be one of those guys, just wants to score a winning touchdown. He's never scored a point in anything. He said he's tired of being the fat guy. Jerry tells him he doesn't have to be or want to be one of those guys. They're jerks. Jerry tells Pat he's cool, but Pat doesn't feel cool. Jerry asks Pat when they're going to start sticking up for themselves. Pat says right now. Jerry says, let's go get everyone and kick his ass. But whoa, 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 they need a plan. The kids go on the hike with Tony the next day. No food, just Father Sky and Mother Earth and their dear old Uncle Tony. The kids are miserable. He tells the story of Icarus rolling a ball up the hill, and several kids lose their balance and fall down the hill. And Cody passes out by a tree. Now, Tony wants to leave him, but they get Cody up and carry him there. Julie, Tim, and Pat back at the camp are planning. Julie called child welfare, but it'll be 2 weeks before they come out and visit. The lawyer said that they also needed evidence when Tim called him. Now, just then, the cameraman comes up looking for Tony and says Tony owes him $600. Now, back on the hike, Tony is doing Tai Chi or something off the top of a cliff, and Josh wants to push him. There's no jury in the world that would convict us, he says. Now, Jerry says, no, that'd be too messy. Tony says he is surprised and tells them he is extending the hike indefinitely. They won't return to camp until they're in shape with one goal, to defeat MVP in the Apache relay. The kids just want to have fun, though. Tony leaps onto a branch overhanging the cliff. Everyone says he's going to get them killed, and the kids ask for a rest. He gives them 1 hour meditation break, then suggests they'll climb 1,000 feet rock face with their bare hands and feet. I don't know what I'd do for an hour.
Yeah, no. I would have ran, first off. Like, F,
yeah,
trying to capture
but they could probably catch him. I mean, or he could probably catch them.
Yeah, him when he's meditating and they're all like grouped together, just like talking, and he's like, that was like one of my favorite parts. I was like, that's so real. That is me when I'm trying to be zen and peaceful, and I hear the loud children that are my neighbors.
Oh, that would be me. I'd be like, are you still meditating? Is it over yet?
Has it been an hour?
Has it been an hour? I've been sitting here thinking the entire time and I can't meditate. We talked about this earlier today for anybody that's wondering, but I was telling Hannah, like, I cannot meditate. I have tried so many times. I've been prescribed meditation from many doctors that I need to meditate, but meditating requires that you calm your brain. And I have not figured out how to do that. I go full Lorelai Gilmore, monkey underpants. And I cannot get my brain to quiet down for not even at nighttime. It's very difficult.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just like fall asleep while my brain is still working on a problem.
Oh my gosh.
It's all you can do. It's all you can do. Well, they start arguing, making it impossible for Tony to finish his meditation, and Jerry says they just want to change. Now, Roy asks if it's possible to do a sit-up if you can't see or hear, and Jerry says it's impossible. Tony starts to do a sit-up and comes face to face with Josh's butt. He chases Josh down the hill. Everyone is running after him, and Josh pulls a hamstring and stops as Tony cuts short and falls into a hole, which is a trap that they set. Now, Pat says Kenny wants a lot of money for the footage. Jerry runs up and says that they have a plan, and then he shows them a captive Tony being held in a shack behind the electrified fence. They kidnapped him. Pat says this is insane. They told him that he had snapped, so he deserves it. Pat says he's going to go free Tony, and then Tony tells him off a little bit, and Tony is kind of an ass, and so he decides to leave him there and says they're going to take him down. In the woods, they tie up Lars and the other goons to the trees. They cover Lars in honey and tell him that the bears will get him. They walk away, and they hear Lars screaming, so they run back, and it is just a deer. Now the kids put the camp back to Camp Hope. Jerry records a message for Tony, and Tony zaps himself on a fence trying to get out. They have a huge bonfire and party, eating whatever they want, and Julie asks Pat to stay with her. The rest of them run amok. Now,
Period.
I will say that what happens is essentially what happened one time. My mother let me eat all of my Halloween candy, and then I never went trick-or-treating again because, and I don't really like this is like one of the only candies I'll eat because I don't really like candy anymore. So
Wait, so like all of it at once?
she let me eat as much as I wanted.
Okay, okay. Jeez.
Yeah,
Okay,
which yeah, and then you don't want to eat anymore
that's fair. Yeah, I feel
ever
like.
again. And I still don't like candy bars anymore.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I feel that. I'm also not like a huge
So
candy bar person.
when you get to eat whatever you want as a kid, you do it once.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it was kind of it was a little the mess that they made with all the wrappers and whatnot was a little gross. I was kind of like,
Mhm.
this is like eat what you want, kids, but like can we like not litter? Can we think of the
Right.
actors?
Well, they free Lars, threatening deportation if he's not with them, and the party looks more like a food fight than food eating. They're all laying around sick the next morning when Pat wakes them all up and he says, "What is the lesson we learned?" Roy says, "Don't put Twinkies on your pizza."
That's
Pat
so
says, "No. What we learned is something about personal responsibility. We're each in charge of our own diets and we need to learn to self-control. We got to get healthy for ourselves. If we get healthy for ourselves, no one can touch us. We got to take control of ourselves before we can take control of this camp. Who is with me?" It's a good message, I think, for a Disney movie. Now, Jerry stands up and raises his hand, and all of the others follow. They speed walk for their health and they take classes on cooking healthy. Now, parents show up for Parents' Day and the kids greet them. Jerry's dad comments that he looks about the same and hasn't lost any weight. The back at the shack, Nicholas is feeding Tony, who says he's a beaten man. But they gave him silverware and tinfoil, both of which he can use to escape. He tricks Nicholas with a chocolate kiss into getting him out. Now, meanwhile, Pat shows the video of what it's actually been like so far this summer. They warn about Tony Perkis's program, where he's making the kids run and work out. It doesn't look any worse than a drill sergeant. The movie shows the kids eating rats to feed themselves, which was obviously fake. And then Tony shows up in the window of the room. He claps and said the villain bit was over the top in the movie. He says the parents are the problem, and Jerry says he has to be stopped, and Tony throws down a glass and walks across it, says he's too strong. Throws down another one. He's too motivated. Throws down another one. He's too weak, especially Gerald. And then he threatens Jerry, and Jerry's dad punches him. Now Tony goes down and then punches back and then backflips out of control and into a wall. And we see that Mr. Perkis, Tony's dad, was called. He asked for people not to call the lawyers. He'll refund the money. He'll close the camp. They ask him not to do that, and he says he needs to put someone in charge and asks who can step up. Now, Pat steps up, having been with the camp for 18 years, and he said he could sure try, which does not sound like confidence to me.
yeah,
And then the
no.
Perkises leave. Now, Tony Perkis Sr. is also played by Ben Stiller, same guy. They say that the kids are finally having a great time and they stop MVP from picking on them. The go-karts are back to working. They took Camp MVP in the Apache Relay where MVP is dressed like Romans and the Camp Hope is dressed like the really fake Native Americans. They relay and sack race, running soccer ball goals, log running monkey bars, wall climb, zip lining, and football through a tire, and Camp MVP is winning all the way. But then they get to shaving a balloon, and the kid is bad at that. Camp Hope catches up, and Josh shaves the balloon perfectly. During the go-kart section, Jerry is going to drive. In the Hall of Intelligence, the kid doesn't get the equation or the artist or the title of the paintings, and Nicholas flies through it and catches up to them on the naming of the 5 vice presidents of the United States. He passes the MVPs, and the go-kart race begins. Jerry has his wings. The group salutes their captain, and they take off. Jerry is taking the tight turns, and at one point he gets pushed off the course and has to catch up. MVP ends up off course, and Jerry is taking the lead, and then MVP passes him and won't let Jerry pass. Jerry hits the jump, turns on his fan, and flies over the MVP's cart, ending up winning. They get the trophy and they celebrate. Now, MVP wants the trophy. That's all that matters to them. So Pat has them throw it into the lake. Now Pat kisses Julie. You bet I'm crazy. I'm crazy about my gal. And they all celebrate. Jerry thanks Pat for the best damn summer of his life. And Pat says, same here, pal. Then we hear them singing the Camp Hope song, but it's boring. So they sing the same song in a rocking way instead. And that is the end. So what I miss?
I love when you whipped out that gummy worm. That's funny. Okay.
It's like half the fun is like stretching them and like.
Yeah, it's a DIY fidget, DIY squishy. Okay. Oh, John recognized the owner, the male owner. He recognized him and was like, he's from Seinfeld. And I was like, yeah, Allison said that. I was like, wow. I just thought that was funny that, like, you said that and, like, he was recognizing all these people. And I was like, dude, how do you know all these people? It was just so unnerving. Also, I just want to comment Camp Hope, naming a fat camp, Camp Hope.
It's hope that they lose weight. I don't know. Hope that they get confidence.
Yeah,
hope.
I like
Hope.
that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny. That literally one of my things.
Camp inspiration. It's supposed to just probably be an inspirational.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, when Jerry, at the beginning, when Jerry was being convinced slash being forced to go to Camp Hope, when he was talking to his dad, he was like, "You're fatter than I am." I thought that was so funny. Jerry's friend that he was walking with at the beginning of the movie as well. Have we seen him in anything? He looked really familiar. He was one of the people I was like, he looks familiar. I don't know. He looked really familiar to me. I already said about Tenny's crop top.
They didn't name him, so I'm not sure who he was.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I thought when they all gained
Bradley King. Hold on.
Let's see.
Matthew Bradley King was only in this movie, Heavyweights. So no.
He looks so familiar. He almost looks like the little brother from She's All That. I feel like I've said that about two people now who I'm like, I associate. I don't know why. I don't know why I think these people look like him. But like that's where my brain goes. I'm like, he looks like him. Interesting. But yeah. So overall I liked it. I liked when he fell into the trap. When Tony fell into the trap. I thought that was so funny.
My question was, when did they dig that hole?
And why I know it was like a bear trap at first.
And how far away was that hole from the camp? Did they have to walk 20 miles to dig a hole to then walk 20 miles? I mean, they only knew about this the night before.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I thought it was like a bear trap, even though I don't know how bear traps work. But like I thought that's what it was at first. And I was like, oh, like they plotted
this. It's possible that it just happened and they just took advantage of it. Also, how did they get him out of the hole?
Right. Yeah. There were a lot of holes.
There's so many questions. Yeah, there's a lot of holes in this movie in general because they talk about how the film, to get the movie from the cameraman to like play at the end of the movie in front of the parents, was going to be $600. Camp counselors don't make $600. They never talk about how they get $600.
Yeah, no. It was just weird. There were like certain parts that didn't make much sense. And like specifically with him being captured. Also, like, how I don't know. I would have called the police if a bunch of kids kidnapped me. Even if I was in the wrong, I would have been like,
he doesn't have a cell phone, Hannah.
I didn't even think about that because it's the 90s.
What was he gonna do? Smoke signals?
SOS. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
The camp itself probably only has one phone in the entire camp.
Because that was like one of the things I was thinking. I was like, if he's been kidnapped, why doesn't he just like, hey, 911, I've been kidnapped? Because there's no.
Doesn't have a cell phone.
That is a crazy culture shock.
People just got kidnapped all the time. Couldn't call anybody.
That's a crazy culture shock. I hate that. Okay, yeah. That just for that part, just for the fact that No, maybe maybe I don't like the 90s technology culture. It's like
It's
that's
nice you're
scary.
not bothered by anybody on their phone.
That's true. See, like I would like that, but like if I were
You can
talking
kidnap your camp counselor and they don't call 911. It's great. Great culture. This whole movie wouldn't have worked if there were cell phones because the
that's
kids would have called out.
that's true. That's fair. Yeah, they wouldn't have had to write letters. Yeah. Duh. I didn't even dang, that's crazy. That's a crazy culture shock. I'm like unnerved over that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, when Jerry snuck in Oreos and like said it was for emergencies, I was like, that's so real. Because Oreos, I love Oreos. I was like, that is a fair snack. Better than meat, better than the weird melted stuff on the kid.
Candy bar.
Oreos, I understand. I don't know though, like why wouldn't they search? Like immediately. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you're at that kind of
But
camp.
it wasn't the Tony Perkis when they got there.
Well, yeah, but like
That's what I
still,
was
just
saying.
in
Like
general.
they're not going to be crazy about it. They want you to be active and that's how you lose weight and then they'll feed you healthy food and that's how you lose weight. They're not like drill. It's not a like a military camp.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I
I mean,
guess like
some fat camps probably were if you had a food addiction.
yeah, like prior to this movie, I kind of just assumed weight loss camps were like very, very
I mean, maybe some of them were,
I
but
don't
this
know.
one looks more like it was supposed to be just like a fun camp that kids are like
Yeah.
so active at that they're not eating unhealthy things
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
and
See,
sitting on their
like
butt.
I would have liked the camp. Actually, no, because if something bad were to happen at the camp, I wouldn't have had a cell phone. So never mind. I would not have liked this camp.
I think
But
the other type of camp too would have made you build an unhealthy relationship with food. You're going to think about all the fatty stuff that you can't have if you have an unhealthy relationship with food. If you build a healthy relationship with food, have an understanding of what you're putting in your body, have an understanding of what the ingredients are, what they mean, how they make you feel. That's a positive thing. Those are life changes. But if you do unhealthy, it's not a life change, it's going to be temporary.
that's true. Very good point.
So
Yeah. I don't
that's
know.
my justification for their camp.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't
And
know,
not like
but
searching people. No. Overall though, I did like this movie. As I said, not one of my faves, but not rookie of the year level.
not a problem.
They like they're like kids movies. So like I gotta like that's the scale, you know?
So it was a goofy movie.
Okay, I loved a Goofy movie though, because it was primarily about like a girl. Like he was like trying to impress a girl. I as you know, I'm like a romance person, you know? I still want to
Well,
watch the new or not the new.
Rookie of the Year, he was trying to impress a girl, his mama,
It's fair.
and an actual girl. There was an actual girl in there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, oh yeah, like yeah, but it wasn't the full plot, which like I need that. And like this was just so chaotic. That's why I liked it more. Chaotic used it twice.
You got to get over your love to put down Rookie of the Year. It's a good movie.
Maybe one day, maybe in like the year of our podcast, I will rewatch it and come back to you with notes.
Maybe we'll find other movies that you like less or like you dislike more,
Oh wow.
and then we'll see what you think.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, here we go. Well, our next watch, we will have a guest, my dad. We'll be watching 1995's Braveheart. So we are getting away from kids' movies, adult movie, and we will be talking some real Scottish lore.
I'm
Now, the
excited.
synopsis is that Braveheart follows William Wallace, a 13th century Scottish hero who leads an uprising against cruel English ruler King Edward Longshanks after suffering a personal tragedy. As such, we will also be introducing Mel Gibson's peak Hollywood stardom before his downfall in the 2000s. Now, this movie is available on Pluto TV, Paramount Plus, Peacock, or a rental or a 7-day free trial on all the other platforms. So we will be talking though what was true about this movie and what was a where they took liberties. Um,
Okay.
and real Scottish history.
Okay.
So important story in Scottish times, which is why we're bringing my dad. Now, I will also say that we will be recording following going to the Highland Games. So I will be at the Highland Games a couple days before that watching Scottish sports. So caber toss, hammer throw, all sorts of things, which I'm really excited about. And I'm meeting my new married friends there, Dwan and Lori, and Dwan's parents before they return to Turkey. So we're gonna have a good time, and my boyfriend's coming out. It's gonna be his first time seeing the caber toss, so I will talk a little bit about the caber toss so that you can understand what that is. Because they essentially take a big log, almost like a telephone pole, but it can be crooked and it can turn a little bit, and they have to throw it at a certain angle and throw it and have it land at a certain angle and then fall in the right direction. So
Oh
very
my God.
cool. I will get
Yeah.
some video and we will post it. I go every year. It's one of my favorite things to do. So
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, yes. Let us know how it goes. Send lots of photos. I'm excited for you. That sounds very fun. And I'm excited for this movie. I like movies like this. I think
now
I'll
this
like
is a long one.
it. Okay.
So keep that in mind. It
Okay.
will look the runtime, plan it out because it is a very long movie. Like
Okay.
Titanic long movie.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, that's it for this edition of Millennial Meets Gen Z. Thanks for hanging out with us and snacking with us and rewinding one 90s movie show or chaotic conversation at a time. Lots of chaotic in this episode. Hannah brought back the word. If this episode brought back a memory, introduced you to something new, or made you want to revisit a classic, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you do not miss out on the next episode. Come find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now Patreon for clips, behind the scenes moments, and all the extra conversations that did not make this episode. And until next time, be kind and rewind.
Thanks for listening or watching, everybody.